You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
Welcome to the Hot Options Report, your premier source for insight into the fast-moving options market. Each day, we'll track down the products that are dominating the options chains and impacting your trading account, from NVDA to VIX, and everything in between. If it's lighting up the options tape, then you'll find it on the Hot Options Report.
All right, everybody, that music means we are back once again. Time for another edition of the Hot Options Report. My name, of course, Mark Longo from the OptionsInsider.com, as well as from the network upon which all of you are mainlining these days. At least we hope so. Remember, if you missed anything, make sure you subscribe to the full network wherever you're getting this podcast. And of course, you definitely missed out on the awesome early holiday options oddities and pro Q&A session we just did if you aren't hanging out in the pro. So make sure you want to check that out, theoptionsinsider.com/pro. Shortened holiday week, get your name in the hat to win the November Pro Trading Crate. All kinds of other cool stuff, including the forthcoming Vol Deathmatch 2.0. 1.0 is a huge hit. 2.0, I'm sure, will be even bigger. You want to check all that stuff out. theoptionsinsider.com/pro is the place to go to learn more as we learn what's lighting up the tape out there today. Remember, if you want to see these numbers for yourselves, thehotoptionsreport.com. You can't beat the price. It is free. Get there before they come to their senses, because it is literally some of the best data you're going to get your hands on, better than what your broker's giving you in many cases, and you can't beat the price. Thehotoptionsreport.com. If you went there, listeners, you would see that it was another rally ho mode day in the major indices after some dust up, some tumult early. The S&P closing up about 0.9%, NASDAQ 0.2%, Dow closing in on 1.5% to the upside, and our old pal, Mr. VIX himself, a VIX cash closing down about 2 points on the day, almost exactly 2 points, 1.96 points, or right around 18.5, 1856 to be precise, is where VIX cash went out, putting up 682,000 contracts today. So VIX not exactly lighting the world on fire in this shortened holiday week. The ADV is still 1.01 million, so still spicy out there. We'll see if we can maintain that. And the hot option out there in VIX land today, 27,000 of the 24 calls. Back to the upside we go. Average price for these, 87 cents. Worth noting, there is OI on this strike, so it is possibly closing. Looks like they hit the bid on these too, so could have been someone who bought these for a little bit of anticipation of a pop, now getting the heck out of Dodge, salvaging what is left of his 87 cents, potentially. As we keep on rolling out to SPY land, SPY closing today up nearly a full percent, like we said. SPY closing pretty much 675 exactly, putting up 10.7 million contracts today. That's beating the ADV of 10.3. So a pretty active day for this holiday Tuesday, listeners. And the hot option out there, 496,000 of the 675 calls. So right where we went out. Funny how that works. Average price for these, about 23 cents, listeners, as we keep on rolling out to SPX land. The S, again, up about a little over 0.9%, 0.91%. Closing 67.6588, putting up a little over 4.5 million. That's pretty much what the ADV is as well, so pretty much right in line with expectations. And the hot option out there in the SPX today, 149,000 of these 67 half calls. Average price for these, about $4.80. As we keep on rolling out to small caps. Small caps have been hot for quite a while. Looking hot again today, up over almost 2.25%. IWM closing 245.13 today, putting up nearly 2.5 million contracts. The ADV just shy of 2, so blowing that away again today. The hot option out there in IWM today, nearly 92,000 of the 230 puts. Average price for these, about $2. By the way, these are not expiring this week. These are expiring in December. So these are December 230 puts. So interesting. December 230 puts for about $2. You like those, listeners? Or would you be selling those? There is some OI on that strike, so it is possible that they are closing those, getting the heck out of Dodge. But which way would you like to go? Deeks 230 puts for $2 as we keep on rolling, listeners. Out to the Qs. The Qs have been rocking and rolling of late, listeners. Let's find out if the Qs were lighting up the tape out there today, shall we, listeners? The Qs closing today 608.89, up about 3 3/4 points, or about 2/3%, putting up about 6.36 million contracts. So a pretty hot day out there in the Qs today. The average is right around 5 3/4, so blowing that away. The hot option in Qs land today, 257,000 of the 608 calls. So pretty much right where we went out. Average price for these, 54 cents. Once again, if you bought these and you rode them through the close, you looked all right at the end of the day. As we keep on rolling out to the single names, listeners, were the single name equities looking all right today? The answer, once again, unfortunately, was no. Only cost you 485,000 contracts to break into the top 10 on this somewhat light day. That gets you to our old pal Palantir. Palantir struggling to catch a bid. Ended up closing at right around 163.55. That puts it up, listeners, about 1.3 points. Not even a full percent, about 0.8% out there, listeners. Again, putting up 485,000 contracts for the number 10 spot, the hot option out there in Palantir today, listeners. We got 22,000 of the 165s expiring on Friday. Average price for these about $1.81. That's uncharacteristically not that optimistic for Palantir. Usually we see farther out of the money strikes lighting it up. But again, it is a shortened holiday week, so not as many sessions to get there. Speaking of getting there, where is MSTR going? That's coming in at number 9 right now. It's been a lot of red on the screen for MSTR, spooking a lot of folks in the crypto space. Maybe the crypto treasury perpetual motion machine has run out of steam. MSTR giving up another about almost $7 today, $6.85, nearly 4%, closing 172.19, putting up 545,000 contracts for the number 9 spot, the hot option in MSTR land today. 37,000 of the par calls, the 200 calls expiring on Friday, going up for about 20 cents. Once again, I guess if you want to roll the bones on a lottery ticket, have at it, but that's a heck of a roll. That is opening paper. Looks like a lot of them went up on the bid, so it is possible some folks are overriding these potentially as a bit of a near-term covered call. I probably like it better that way, I gotta admit. But we shall see. Number 9, the monster. Number 8, it's the Amazonians, listeners. Amazon rallying today, almost $3.50, about 3.40 or about 1.5%, closing 229.67, putting up 661,000 contracts for the number 8 spot. The hot option out there in Amazon today, 48,000 of the 230s, right where we went out. Amazing how that works, listeners. 230s. Average price for these about $1.75. So all in all, not the wildest upside trade we've seen here on the Hot Options Report. As we keep on rolling to number 7, it's our old pal Goog. Once again, we've got both flavors of Google / Alphabet making it into our top 10 again today. Number 7, good old Goog Class C, closing today, $323.64, up over $5, $5.17 or about 1.6%. So another hot day for Goog. Ever since Buffett waved his magic wand over Alphabet, they've been on quite the run. 760,000 contracts on the tape for the number 7 spot. For them, the hot option, almost 71,000 of the 325 calls. Average price for these, $4.17. Interesting stuff. Good old Class C. Not that far for Class C to run. Can they make it? We'll see by the end of the week, listeners. As we keep on rolling to number 6, our old pal, the artist formerly known as Meta, continuing to put that par strike in the rearview mirror, at least for now, I should say. Meta closing today, $636.22, up a little over $23 or about 3 3/4%, putting up 808,000 contracts for the number 6 spot, the hot option out there. Almost 41,000 of the 630 calls. So now in the money calls. Average price for these, $5.81. I got a feeling they're going for a little more than that now at the end of the day. Interesting stuff out there for Meta. Good scoop there as we keep on rolling. To number 5, it's the fruit company, Apple, hitting a new 52-week high today before closing 276. 97, up a little over a buck or almost 0.5%, putting up 924,000 contracts. For the number 5 spot, the hot option in Apple today, 115,000 of the 280s. So you give them a new 52-week high, and they want more, listeners. Average price for these, $1.63. These are going out on Friday as well. Black Friday, listeners. Can we get there? We shall find out. AMD, they've been having a bit of a rough run of late, so kind of a tale of two tapes in the tech land these days. AMD coming in today, 206.13, off nearly $9 or 4.15%. So once again, feeling some heat out there, putting up 1.07 million contracts today. The hot option, 35,000. Even with all this red, we're not going to the dark side. We're not going puts. We're going calls yet again. It's the par calls, the 200 calls expiring on Friday, 4:54. So once again, these look like a good scoop if they did indeed buy these, because obviously they went out worth more than that. As we keep on rolling to number 3, the other half of the alphabet sandwich, it's our old pal Google, aka Class A, closing today, 323.44, up nearly $5 or about 1.5%. So again, that Buffett stick and a lot of other things have been carrying them north of late. 1.23 million contracts changing hands today. The hot option, 78,000 almost exactly of the 330 calls. Average price for these, $217. So once again, if you're buying these, you do need Class A to continue its classy run throughout the rest of the week as we keep on rolling out to number 2. It's our old pal Tesla. Tesla has been all over the place of late. Below the par strike, roaring back above it yesterday, and now hanging out $419.40. Net up about $1.60 or not even 0.5% out there. So a wild day. Looks like they sold off as low as about $406, and the high today was about $420.5. So closing about $1 off those highs today. Putting up nearly 2 million contracts, 1.95 million contracts. And the hot option, once again, our old pals, the 420s. Changing hands 86,000 times today. The price for these bad boys, about $5. So $5 for the 420s, listeners. I think that's a good do. Is that cheap, or are you saying sold to you, listeners? Can Tesla close above that on Black Friday? We shall find out as we keep on rolling to the number 1 spot. It's our old pal NVDA. They've been coming under some heat of late as well. Some folks saying maybe they're looking to the Alphabet chips rather than NVIDIA. Perhaps the first chink in the armor. We shall see. Either way, NVIDIA actually selling off yet again on a day when the markets were green. Closing today a little bit shy of 178, 177.82, off about 4 3/4 or about 2.6%. Putting up nearly 5 million contracts, 4.92 million contracts. So a pretty hot day in NVIDIA land. They don't see a lot of red out there, especially on days when the market is green. So maybe spooking some folks out there. Let's see what the hot options report is telling us, though, shall we? Are we going to the dark side, or are we still going upside calls? The answer is the latter. The hot option today, 250,000 of the 180 calls. Average price for these, about $1.07. So once again, we are still going to the upside, listeners. This was an opening trade, so not coming in to close any existing OI here on this strike. Can NVIDIA close above the 180 strike at the end of the week, listeners, or at least get there long enough for buyers of these to get the heck out of Dodge? Well, we'll keep an eye on it to find out. And that is going to do it for your hot options report for this week. Join us back here tomorrow. I know it's a hot travel day, but we'll still be here cranking out all the data for you. And of course, the hot options report is available for you whenever you want to check it. If you want to check it at 2 a.m., those reports are live and waiting for you at thehotoptionsreport.com. You owe it to yourself to check them out. You literally can't beat the price. Thehotoptionsreport.com to learn more. See you back here tomorrow for another episode of the Hot Options Report. Oh, yeah. And stay safe out there, everybody.
You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.